going out tonight?
Cataclysm!
This place is like an adult Disneyland. Shots? Aren't you supposed to be DJ Dreamcatcher? Are you worried about getting mobbed out here?
Why do you think I always wear a mask?
So here's the deal. We will get rid of the body, and you will walk away with a compensation check.
We will take them down.
Well, we can't go in there guns blazing. We are better than that. We've got to be strong.
I don't want to be strong. I want to be angry.
Go, go, go!
Welcome to yet another edition of Dissecting Horror. Tonight, I'm here with the creatives who brought us Dreamcatcher, a brand new masked slasher that might have a supernatural twist, probably does since I just said it here, which is available to stream now. So check it out, Dreamcatcher. If you've already seen it, I'm here with some of the people who made it possible. If you haven't seen it, you're going to want to by the time we wrap up this panel because it's a really, really fun movie. A lot going on in there and definitely worth your time and attention. So I'm your host, Josh Milliken from Dread Central. Let me introduce the panel. We've got the director and writer of Dreamcatcher, Jacob Johnston. How are you, sir?
I'm so great. Thanks for having us, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Can't wait to do a deep dive on this offering you have delivered to us. We're also here with Matt Plaxco. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yeah.
How's it going, Max?
Good.
How's it going?
It's all good.
Max? You are the cinematographer for Dreamcatcher. In case you didn't know, you are the cinematographer for Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
And that's why we're having you here today on the panel.
Why, thank you for having me.
Right on, right on. We've got the star of the film, Elizabeth Posey. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited.
Oh, it is our pleasure. You play Ivy, who is a very interesting character in a film filled with interesting characters. So can't wait to talk about what makes her tick. So really glad to have you here. Last but definitely not least, we've got Alex Taylor, who's the composer How's it going, Alex?
Hey, good, man. Nice to see you again.
It's great to see you too. Soundtracks are always important in films, but this is a movie where music plays an especially integral part. That means you are an exceptionally crucial component in all of this. So I'm really excited to talk to you about what you brought with your soundtrack and how you worked with all these guys to make the cohesive thriller, scary horror movie Dreamcatcher. So let's do it, yeah? Without further ado, Jacob, I'm gonna start off by talking to you. You actually have kind of an extensive history with Marvel.
It's true. Yeah, it's I was fortunate enough right out of film school. It was my first job to work at Marvel Studios, and it was a new department that was being created on the live action side, called visual development, which in animation typically means developing like the very early stages of animation. But in this live action world, what they were actually doing was creating a department that would essentially be designing all of the key characters, weapons, props, and keyframing some of these major action sequences that would be either proposed to the writers or maybe the director had come up with something and was like, hey, I'd love to see what this looks like. And it was also our department, we were helping to establish what is magic. What does that look like? How do you translate magic into the MCU? How do you translate this alien race into something that is, it's fan service, but at the same time, it's got to have a very tactile quality as well. So I was really fortunate to get to work on a lot of movies there with some of the most talented people, and I feel like it's being able to absorb that energy. Creative osmosis is what it was. Even though I wasn't actively doing all the things I'd love to do, I was getting to stand beside and listen and take in all of that information. And that was really, really exciting. And, I think when you look back at the trajectory of filmmakers that started somewhere in the art world, Tim Burton, Joe Johnston, Robert Eggers, Catherine Hardwicke, people that were either art directors or production designers who then became filmmakers. So, not to say that I'm enjoying that legacy of fantastic filmmakers, but I think it's a great place to start for sure.
So you're so sure, man. You made a great film, which is why we're all here tonight. So that's exciting. Definitely have more to talk about for you, but let me pivot away for just a second. I got to talk to Matt about something because, I was looking at your IMDb page and understand that, you do a lot of nonfiction work, of clients like the History Channel, National Geographic. I was stunned and actually quite thrilled to see that you were the cinematographer for a documentary about Kiss.
Oh man, that was a really long time ago. But yeah, no, I didn't.
I'm a bit of a Kiss fan, in case you didn't know. Let me show you my figure.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude.
I have a bit of an affinity for that band. Tell me a little bit about that, even if it was a while ago.
Oh man, yeah. I shot a very small portion of the U.S. side of. It's really interesting. I didn't know this, but I guess the Japanese are giant fans of Kiss, like more than anywhere in the world.
Really?
I guess. Yeah, I didn't know this, and
why would they're the best band ever? Why? Anyway, go on.
It was.
We're gonna talk about Dreamcatcher, I promise.
But no, it was just a fun little. I shot a little bit of the U.S. side of this doc that was it was a Japanese production, Japanese director, and they proceeded to tell me how fanatic the fans are and how their attendance to Kiss shows are almost double what it is in the U.S., which is wild. I mean, I think Kiss is. I mean, it's classic. Everybody loves Kiss, but like it was surprised to me that it was like, oh yeah. The Japanese are, this is like one of their favorite bands ever. I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Cause it was, I want to say it was 7 years ago, 7 years ago.
Well, since you were filming concerts and they have, these crazy shows with lights and everything.
Much with scores, which is like, for me, it's like a huge like gift because like that was my primary instrument. That's how I started off. I wanted to be a rock star first. And then just kind of like ended up doing film. So yeah, I mean, and then going from, I had just finished two very before Moon and The Dead of Night came out too. From like something like that, that's all like very organic. Like I use like a bunch of just like kalimba, gopushan, a bunch of weird instruments, and then going back to like my comfort zone with like the synthesizers. Like it was a blast. And thank you also, working as a composer, I don't really get to meet the people that work on set. So like, thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, Matt, for like making my job so goddamn easy. Like, seriously, thank you guys. I wish I could have been there on set, but that's just not what my job entails.
I also have to commend Alex's his use of out of the box. One of the things we talked about early on, you know, I wanted to try to stay away from like a lot of orchestral like brass. It was one of my first things. I was like, it was kind of eye-opening to me because I was like, I don't want any French horn. That was like the first thing I said, because French horns are so prominent in horror scores. And it was something that Alex really kind of schooled me on about, you know, the French horn. You probably don't even know what it really sounds like, but it's evident in all of these different scores that you are referencing. And then I was like, that's the one instrument that I think we should try to maybe stray away from, because it is so iconically tethered to this genre. And so it was like, let's try to lose brass whenever we can. Let's really lean into strings, because I'm a huge strings, you know, Clint Mansell type person. You know, the more you can lean into those strings and dissonance. I think, you know, something that Alex really elevated in the score was this idea of dissonance and not creating something that is constantly melodic. So you get those the EDM the bits that are just like, yeah, this is familiar and I get this, and then, you know, Alex's score creeps in and it's this kind of dissonant vibe that kind of starts to deconstruct not only the scene but also the instrumentation. And I just thought that was so cool that, you know, his knowledge of music really transcended so many things, and I learned a lot from him throughout the process.
Yeah, I mean, you guys definitely work together great, and that symbiosis is evident. Matt, you know, how do you think, as a cinematographer, how do you feel that the music enhanced what you brought to the camera?
I mean, I think music